Hi guys, I'm David with MediaUnlock.net, and today we're going to look at Canon's new iteration, the Canon M5. So this is Canon's new mirrorless camera. Now, if you guys have noticed, a lot of mirrorless cameras have been popping up by various different companies, and I really feel like Canon has kind of fallen behind in the mirrorless game to this new EOS M5. Now, the predecessor to it is the Canon M3, which was a pretty decent camera, but it really wasn't something that you're going to throw in your bag and use as a backup camera. So the question is, can the Canon M5 be good enough to be a main shooting mirrorless camera, or is it just going to be another backup camera? Let's talk a little bit about it. It seems in today's camera reviews or people's thoughts and opinions on cameras is, how does it look? Is it aesthetically sexy? Is it good looking? Is it something I want to buy by the look? Or how does it feel in my hand? For me, it's how does the camera perform? Now, I will mention it does feel pretty decent in my hand. Someone with a bigger hand may have problems with this camera. But if you notice, this is a fairly small camera. So one of the nice things about a camera this size is that it is literally the size, not much bigger than a point and shoot camera with a Canon 80D chip inside for a sensor. So you're getting similar to a Canon 80D performance out of a tiny little camera like this, which is pretty exciting. That's one of the nicest things about getting a mirrorless camera, is that the size is much smaller. But does the sensor perform as well as the Canon 80D? While I didn't get a chance to actually put the Canon M5 directly up against the Canon 80D, I recently tested the Canon 80D out. So I know how the Canon 80D performed, and after testing this out for a month, I know how the Canon M5 performs. Now, they both have the same megapixel count, 24.2. They both use the same chip, but the Canon 80D uses a different processor than the Canon M5. This is why the Canon 80D will outperform it when it comes to low light. But when it comes to face detection, autofocus, and some of the other smaller features, the M5 can keep right up with the Canon 80D. I still would prefer the Canon 80D over the M5 because I come from a background of using DSLRs, and I just don't know if I'm ready for a major change into a mirrorless camera. I like the feel of a DSLR, and again, I want that little bit of extra performance if I'm going to pay the same price. Now for you, you may actually want to get this beautiful little Canon M5 because it is a little bit smaller. So the nice thing is that it fits in your bag better, your purse, your pocket. You can take it, put it in your coat, where the Canon 80D is a little bit clunkier. So for me, I would pick the 80D over the M5. But if I was going to be doing a lot of things where I needed to have a smaller camera body, the M5 is something I'd look at. So from a stills perspective, I really like the Canon 80D a little bit better than the Canon M5. Now, that may not be for you. As I said, having a camera that's a little bit smaller could be very beneficial, where a bigger DSLR, being clunky as it is, will not allow you to get the shot that you need or fit in the bag that you needed it to. So a few things that I really didn't like about the Canon M5, again, how it fit in my hand. I constantly seemed to hit the record video button when I was shooting pictures. So I would be out walking around, taking some shots. Next thing I'd know, I'd be recording video instead of actually taking a picture. The way that my thumb fits on the camera, it constantly seems to hit that record button. That was extremely frustrating to me. The autofocus worked fairly well. I was pretty happy with the way it performed. Now, I did not use the 15 to 45 millimeter kit lens that it came with very often. I did not find it that useful, other than when I needed to have a small setup and I didn't want to have something like my 24 to 105 or my 70 to 200 on there, f2.8. Those are larger lenses. So I used the Canon adapter for it, and I found that it worked really well, and I was still able to get tack-on sharp shots. I was really impressed with that. Now, a lot of people really love the new articulating screen. This is very new for Canon's M series. Usually their screens flip from out to the side. I prefer that system. Well, their new articulating screen flips up and under. So as you can see how it fits like this. So the idea is that it's supposed to be really good for vlogging. I understand that Canon was trying to hit some of the vlogging market, but for me, setting this up like this, and let's see if we can get it exactly parallel there, if I had to put a tripod mount or something there, it's gonna get in the way, and I find that to be very distracting and annoying. For people out there that actually do vlogging or consider getting into it, this could be a nice LCD setup for you.
Hey guys, this is Lee. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about the video processing side of it, and also talking about the M5 as an upgrade from the previous M series cameras. I took this to a concert, which is a historically lowly lit and very active environment. I just had the stock 22mm f2 lens on it and shot some video, shot some stills. I was very impressed with just the in-camera stabilization. We'll show you some sample footage here, but I am just holding the camera in my hands like this and holding it over my head, holding it over to the side, and I got a great deal of stabilization with just the stock pancake lens on this. Talking about this from the upgrade from the EOS M, I have this EOS M1. There was an M3 between the two, obviously. The M5 is already a lot bigger. You can see there the difference in size, but I really think that the bigger is actually not a bad thing necessarily, because it adds a great deal more functionality to the camera. Not only do you have a bigger screen with more touchscreen area, but you also have now added a lot more knobs, which the M1 and the M3 just simply don't have. You can't really access anything once you're shooting video in any respect. So you have a lot more functionality on the camera without getting into the menu or on the touchscreen. You also have a built-in EVF, which is very nice. There's also a sensor here that will automatically turn off the LCD and turn on the EVF when you bring it up to your eye. There is a possibility that if you're shooting and holding it in such a way, your thumb or your finger can actually go over that sensor and turn off the screen and turn on the EVF. That is a little annoying if you're doing it handheld. But if you didn't have your hands directly in front of it, if you had in some kind of rig or just with a shooting handle, that wouldn't be that big of a deal. David mentioned the awkwardness. I have fairly large hands, but I am able to hold it pretty well in one hand, and I can kind of crimp my fingers in there and still have access to a lot of functionality with my thumb, access to this extra dial function knob, to the exposure knob. There's actually a good amount of things that I can do, even though I do have large hands. I'm 6'4" and I have hands to match. So I was actually really impressed with this camera in regards to coming from the M1. I shifted to the M1 because I didn't want to keep carrying around a large DSLR when I just go on walkabouts and just shoot stuff, if I want to be able to shoot video. And I am actually very impressed with this camera. I would totally upgrade it myself if I had the time or the capital. One other little thing, there's now an included flash on top as well. There's all kinds of connectivity. You've still got your mic and your USB and HDMI out. They've got built-in Wi-Fi now, which the M1 and M3 did not have. A couple of other quick things. As David mentioned, this doesn't have 4K. For some of you, that's a turn-off. It's not for me. I don't particularly need that resolution just yet. It does have 1080p 60, which is very nice for slow-mo. You're finding that on a lot more of the Canon cameras. And I actually think the low light is pretty good for video. It's definitely not up in the cinema series range or even at the 5D Mark IV range. It's not in anything over 20,000, but even at 3200 I was getting some pretty clean images in video. The live autofocus also works very well in video. Some of the sample footage, it was on autofocus and also auto ISO, and I thought the camera was doing a very good job at actually adjusting for the exposure based on a concert environment, which is not friendly to cameras like this. So potentially good for video, good for its form factor. I'm going to throw it back to David, who's going to cap it off here.
After 1 month of use with the Canon M5, is this something I would consider buying? The answer is no. Nothing against Canon. The quality of the pictures look good. The stabilization was great. I love the 24 megapixels. I love the Digic 7 autofocusing system. The thing is, I really am not sold on a mirrorless camera system. The only mirrorless camera system that I've actually used that I've been overly impressed with was the Sony a6300. Again, that has 4K, where this doesn't hit the mark when it comes to 4K. We're still stuck at 1080p. Far as shooting goes, I found that the Sony system focused a little bit better. Now, I wouldn't say it was faster, but it was more accurate more times. Far as new camera users thinking about getting into the mirrorless game or thinking about getting their first camera, but they want something with a little bit of quality that's small, take a look at this Canon M5. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping in. We'll catch you next time.
Everybody say it with us. Corner. Have to give us shit test. Here we go.
Hey guys, if you'd like to check out our website where we have all kinds of fun and exciting blogs, videos, and extra information that isn't on our YouTube page, click right here. If you'd like to talk to us or contact us and kind of take a look at all the different stuff that we have going on, we've kind of funneled it all through our Facebook. You can hit our Facebook page right here and follow us or like us. Now, if you like to look at cool pictures and behind the scenes stuff, we do that on Instagram right here. So go on and follow us on Instagram. And of course, we got our cute little bird right here, Mr. Twitter, and you can follow us as we do our short tweets.